What is up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate business into a life of freedom. And we have an awesome and fun episode for you today. We have the irrepressible, the incomparable Glenn Twiddle here with us. We're talking about all things marketing and how to sell the unsellable. And no, I'm not talking about a date with Greg McDaniel, who is also here with me today. The junior grandmaster himself is in the co-pilot seat. Oh man, I had just had that one in the chamber. I was smiling to myself before the show even went live. I love it. Greg McDaniel, the unsellable, the undateable, as Jerry Seinfeld would say. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Johnson. How about yourself there, pal?
No, don't adjust your glasses with your middle finger. How dare you?
I was flipping you off. Oh my God, the unsellable. Yeah, it's like dating McDaniel. Unsellable. That's not gonna. That's like the spruce goose. That's not even getting off the ground.
That's right. If there was ever a movie made about that pitted a marketer / copywriter as the hero, it would be that. It's the impossible assignment, the impossible dream. I will give you $1 million to make Greg McDaniel sellable on a date. And can't be done. Can't be done. For one man.
We'll have to bring Gary Halbert out from the grave in order to do that.
Exactly.
It's a fucking brutal crew. We're 2 minutes in and I'm already dead. Dude, both of you guys. Golly.
It's the hoodie. We can't do anything with you in a hoodie.
Dude,
come on.
It is cold as shit, man. It is cold weather up here. And so I'm wearing this to preserve myself. Because I'm going down, Matt, you and I are going down as of this recording. We are going to go join the great Glenn Twiddle down in the Down Under. That was almost a passable Australian accent.
Yeah, it's not bad.
To do some speaking. We're super pumped. We're coming down. Glenn's flying us first class. And so we can't wait to get down there.
Glenn's like, wait a minute, did you get a hold of my credit card somehow?
Absolutely.
Lads, with the value you guys add to the world, mate, if karma had anything to do it would be first class. It would be all those censored things we talked about pre-show. But karma's a bitch when it comes to, international travel and real estate agents. No one wants to pay for funding all this stuff, lads.
Air Canada doesn't take my good karma. It's very unfortunate.
No. But no, seriously, guys, we're really pumped. We're going to go down. We're hanging with Glenn with his motley crew of just rock star millionaire agents. We're going to knock it out of the park. We're bringing BC down with us. We're going to do an hour with them down there, but then we're going to now be able to soak it in, meet some amazing agents. So we're super glad to have Glenn on the show, guys. If you don't know who this bald ninja is, you've got to get to know him because he's going to drop knowledge like the U.S. dropped atomic bombs. It's going to blow some shit up. So get a pen out and get to writing because this man is knowledgeable. Glenn, do you need a better welcome than that? I mean, I think I pretty much covered everything. How awesome you are.
That's why I get my ass up at 2 a.m. in order to hang with you guys because I just love it. No, I'm a big fan. I started as a fan of this show where one of my students said, you got to watch these guys. They're killer. That's Dave Pinnell. Big shout out to Dave from Texas. And
nice.
So the fact that you guys had me on once and I didn't get kicked off the show amazes me. The fact that you invite me a bunch of times and the fact that you guys honor me with coming down to Australia. With my events, I charge literally next to nothing to come. So, you guys have done me the honor of waiving your fees, helping a brother out by helping our audience out. I can't express enough how appreciative I am of you guys. So anything I can give to your crew, I will get up at any time, any hour in order to do so for you guys. And I love, a few people have contacted me from the last time we did this with some early encouraging responses about doing 6 open houses in a day, heaven forbid. An hour at a time, 3/4 of an hour at a time. And I've also seen, as some people have been saying, wow, that was pretty good. And, I got this and I got that. And I'm looking forward to getting into some of the nuances of how to do that. There's, in those threads, other naysayers saying, oh, yeah, that won't work. Why don't you just stay there for 3 hours? And I'm thinking, man, you try to think outside the box, and there's always someone saying, well, that's all right for you, Glenn, but that won't work in here in the good old US of A. Well, that's because we've got different genetics over here that require you to do it our way, one way, and the only way. Maybe there's another way, huh? I don't know.
Yeah, no. So Arnae Dodd did this, guys. She went out and she did the whole split test. Worked out fantastically for her. I mean, she said that she had a tremendous response from it. And well, Glenn, you saw the response I sent over to you, what she had, right? What she thought.
Yeah, it was a while ago, so I don't have it on me, like I don't have it top of mind. All I have a sense of, because when you run at this pace, man, it's massive. All I remember is after seeing her and about 3 or 4 other people either direct message me or tag me or whatever, I know there's life in the tank, so that when the 3 of us do a masterclass on open houses like that, and it won't be today, but when we do that, it's going to potentially, for those like, sorry, how do you pronounce it? Arne,
yes, correct.
Yeah, for those who will embrace it, who will, heaven forbid, try something on that might be, man, if they think that's out of the box, wait till they get to some of my other stuff. But anyway, a little bit out of the box, meet some more people. You never know. They might just, kind of stick a 0 on the end of their income statements and go from 80 grand to 800 grand. Who knows?
just stick one pesky 0 on the end. I mean, just try something different. You get an extra 0 and 1 extra comma. Okay, I'll take an extra comma. I'll take 1 extra comma.
All right. So if anyone is completely lost about what we're talking about right now, if you missed Glenn's last appearance. Episode. Glenn had a drop the mic moment where he basically laid out exactly how to do 5 to 6 open houses in a single day, and compress the traffic that you might get while sitting and watching, football on a Sunday over the course of 3 or 4 hours in one house, and spread them across 5 or 6 different houses, so you compress the traffic into very, very short windows. So guys, go back and watch his episode. It's on the website, reuncensored.com. And you will see exactly what he's talking about. And Glenn, you talk about a masterclass on open houses. First of all, we need to do that, and we need to do it behind the scenes and offer it to our agents that are joining our team. Like, that's the kind of fun stuff we're going to be doing for the people that are in our tribe, is bringing guys like you and Dave Pinnell, helping you guys. You don't need our help developing products, but we do want to bring guys like you to our tribe and let you get more in depth than we could really go on the show, because the show is awesome. I love the show.
Well, speaking about Dave. Mm-hmm. Dave flew down to Australia like you guys are going to do, but as a student, he wasn't speaking. He came down to learn. So he spent 2 days with us. Mm-hmm. And aside from, an attitude change that he took back and a few other things like that, the one executable that he started doing was his open house strategy, launching a property to the market with this open house strategy. This year, he's about to do his first $1 million year, 1 million. That's 7 figures. And he attributes a lot of that success to that. So to those who say, oh, that won't work, let me sit there for 3 hours and see 2 people in 3 hours, I say, sir, I give you Exhibit A,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It works. And it works in the South, conservative. So I agree 100%. Yeah, Dave is a great example.
I just like that idea a lot, because with my ADHD ass, I want to be constantly doing something, moving and shaking. And if I can have the opportunity to go from one house to another, next house to the next house to the next house, and if you can go hire some high school kids, go hire your business partners' kids, go hire some kids from the office, pay them $50, each, and that's for the day, and their job is to hopscotch over each other, taking signs from one to the next, 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 so that you have these signs out there. If you ran out of signs, go talk to your brokerage, get additional blank signs that you can use, the generic ones that they can offer out to different agents, and put it, right on there with a little piece of paper.
Greg McDaniel's face on it.
Just Greg
McDaniel's face on it. Let me add this. I went easy on you guys saying 6,
God.
I went easy on you guys saying 6. Do you know some of the guns here?
Seriously?
Let me just give you some context. Chris Gilmore has been known to do 20 open houses in one single day, seeing an average of 4 to 6 people per open house. So that's over 100 new leads to follow up in some degree.
Wow.
Tom Carlin puts out, depending on at what stage of his career he's at, but Tom Carlin, another one of the guys speaking on the stage with you down here in Australia, has been known to put out hundreds of directional signs in his area, hundreds all over his geography, and they're not there for the people actually looking for the open houses. We understand that, Right. They are there for the 999,000 people that day who are not going to open houses, who now see the Tom Carlin personal brand. So this 6 thing, that was me just giving you guys a little warm-up thing. Let's try 20 with 2 or 3 different teams of people out there working for you, all under your brand, seeing hundreds of people. That's the next level for us. But we're not going to go there yet, because it seems that you can't even do 6 according to some.
That's
hey,
right.
be easy. We're Americans. Damn it. Stop
Gotta
picking
go
on
easy. Gotta go easy on us. All right.
But
Let's.
well, look at that. I've done 2 parts of bugger all training with Greg McDaniel on this. We just talked about it in theory. Greg's already got the nuances. Hire the kids, get the setup, get them going to do it, get extra signage. We haven't even gone through this. That's why I love hanging with Mr. McDaniel. You just drop a little knowledge there. That dude runs with it because he freaking is a genius. So
well, Matt, did you hear that? Glenn called me a genius. Glenn called me a genius.
No, sorry. I was looking at the rain outside. I did not notice.
Shut up. Oh, look, my sock drawer needs to be rearranged.
Well, let my attention wander for 1 second, and the show goes off the rails.
Such a dick.
All right.
But seriously, let's jump down that rabbit hole really quickly about me being a genius. No, I'm kidding. But in regards to, if you really put a team ahead of this, what you could set up independent landing pages and squeeze pages for each one of these open houses that you can then push out for a week in advance with $7 a day, making sure that everybody in social media knows exactly when this open house is going to be open. So don't fuck up and go to the wrong one. This shit is all laid out. You have a master list on as your main photo on your Facebook, portal and page. You can then do lead capture there if you're using something like Conversion for pre-signups, for pre-information. You can then have, like you said, the teams out there hopscotching. They could even have sign-up pads if people are asking where the next property is. Hey, let me grab your card so we don't miss you in case you miss the open house. It's going to be open for 10 minutes. Don't miss out. We're doing 20 open houses. You could probably even get news coverage on this as a speed race, like the great race. Like, can the guy do it? And you could maybe even take bets on this shit. Maybe a bookie would take bets on this. Like, could he actually hit 20 open homes in one day and get X amount of leads? I'll take the under on that one. But, think about it. Think how big of an event you could create with this. Make this thing a big deal. And if the people go to all the open houses that they follow you, then they could get maybe a free lunch at the final property, the big, cherry on top, the diamond property. You have a barbecue rock on there, and if they collect something at every one of the houses, maybe a sticker or something like that, they and their family can get lunch for at the end of the day. Congratulations.
See, Chris Gilmore. Where's Chris Gilmore? Chris, if you're watching this, Mr. Gilmore, have a look at what Greg McDaniel, the big deal that he made, be getting news coverage and all of that, out of your everyday Saturday. Pretty cool.
That's funny.
Damn, I was good. And then it totally was whittled down. That's just an old Saturday.
That's Chris's Saturday.
That's what I love.
Yeah.
That's what I love. Now the 10-minute thing is intriguing to me because they do the shortest we've gone is 20. The sweet spot we found is half an hour. It is half an hour. We've experimented with hour, 45, 20. We think we went a bit short then because really we found we had to kick people out too quickly, really. So what we do is we do 20. We start moving them on at 20 and we're kind of done by 30. So with those teams, you can get 2 done in an hour. And so in order to get 20 done, Chris does have to have a secondary B team out there consisting of his PA and another assistant. So he's doing one lot and the other B team's doing another, and that's how they roll. So it's going to be a good masterclass. We're going to go through a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah. It's good. We're going to play hard. And if
Look
you
at our
take the
teasing sons of
challenge,
bitches.
oh my God.
Yes, you are. You are teasing, Glenn. Okay, so let's drop into one of the main questions I want to get to today. Speaking of selling the unsellable. So this is from Cameron Tucker. It says, hey guys, I'm about to lose a listing because the seller claims I'm not marketing it aggressively enough. I plaster that thing all over social media. I've opened houses, dropped the price, offered a decorating allowance. Still no Cameron. And still no offer.
Can I have a surname?
Tucker.
Are you gonna message him right now?
I want to call him and see just how much he is marketing. So Cameron Tucker from what's
Cameron Rhodes Tucker.
Road.
RHODES. Cameron Rhodes Tucker. So looking for some creative ideas. Yeah. So that is the deal.
So he's doing so just to rattle off again what he's doing.
And correct. No central AC, by the way.
Oh, God. Well, there's our problem. Jesus.
Speaking of selling the unsellable, that's right. What happens when it gets hot outside? Go to Starbucks.
You just get hot inside.
That's right. You enjoy the toasty atmosphere.
We call it a weight loss program. It's your own personal sauna. It comes with a sauna without having to pay for the sauna. Here's
a copy of the Tim Ferriss podcast where he goes into the benefits of the heat room.
And then the benefits of the ice bath. No. Hey, what's the address of that, Matt?
I will. I will try to shoot it to you while we're talking here.
Poor guy's already on the carpet enough.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so no central AC, making a decorating allowance, claims to be plastering it all over social media. We'll see what that actually means, but let's assume that they're telling the truth about that. Glenn, what would you suggest? Just how do you think about that kind of problem when you have a listing that won't sell and you feel like you're doing everything that you should be doing?
Yeah, I only just had a quick look at his Facebook page, Park, so I may be on the wrong page, but there is a formula that I go to that, look, I tell you what, I'll buy his property. So it ain't that the property won't sell. I will buy it. How much is it listed for? Do we know? And if we don't, let's just guess it's listed for $350,000. Right. Do you guys have valuations over there in order to get finance? Is that how the property process works? That a valuer comes in on behalf of the bank?
Yeah, loan to value. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool. So whatever that loan to value ratio is, whatever the bank says it's worth, doesn't matter that the list price is 380. If the bank says it's worth 350, I'll pay 80% of that. And given the unknown variable of the USA market, because I have no idea, look, I'm going to be a risk-aversive wanker, and I'm going to say, look, I'll pay 60% of that val. So 60% of your 350, I will right now pay whatever that is, 190, right? I will pay that. Now, somewhere between my insult and that 350, that property will sell. So clearly, it's not that the listing won't sell. There are really three things that I say to a vendor when a property won't sell, to a seller. I say, it is either, now this is if it's one of my vendors. There's four things that a property won't sell if it's with a competitor's vendor. The fourth thing being agent skill. Right? So now that's ruled out if I've got it, right?
Right.
I'm there. So, but the three P's, if it's one of my vendors, I'd be saying, so Greg, really there's three things, mate. It's the presentation of the property, physically, in person. There's the promotion of the property, which is the presentation of the property kind of online and in media, how much we put that property under folk, that's promotion. And then there's the price. The only reason this property hasn't sold is in one of those three places. Now, Greg, you've had this place immaculate every time I've run one of our open homes. So I'm going to just rule out presentation. We are left with price and promotion. Which of those two, or both, but which of those two do you think it might be? Right? And then we get some vendor opinion, some of the seller's opinion. Now, the best one is if I'm doing that with a competitor's listing that's considering maybe changing over to me, and I throw in agent skill into that mix, of course they're going to go, yeah, probably agent skill, and you know what, maybe even the... You know what's great? When they've been marketing it for 3 or 4 months, they lose it to me, the seller drops the price, they give me a marketing budget, because down here in Australia, we get marketing and we charge that of the vendors. Not that it goes to us, it goes to the various media. It goes to the newspapers, it goes to the web portals, it goes to social media, etc. But the vendor, the seller funds that, not us as the agent. So we get a new listing that's been on the market for 3 months. They drop the price by 20% because they understand now finally that their price was insane. They give us a marketing budget with which to expose it everywhere. They finally present it, mow the lawns and get the thing done. They change to me. I get a property sold in 2 weeks or in a week. And then I get a testimonial saying, we're on the market. Because guess who they blame? They don't blame the price in them. They don't blame themselves for being, hard asses on the last agent. They blame the agent. So they give me a testimonial that says, man, we were listed with everyone. We couldn't sell it for... I've got one testimonial that says, we're on the market for 2 years with every agent you could imagine. Michael came in, is one of my students. Michael came in, put it on the market, and got it sold in 2 weeks for $20,000 more than the asking price. How good is that? Now, they did all those things for Michael. They dropped the price, they increased the exposure. So having a hard-ass meeting with that seller, and even from the sounds of your man, here's the biggest principle I'll give before we throw to Mr. McD to deconstruct all my madness, which he has a knack of doing. But here's the main thing. When you have, I can smell our friend Cameron, and sir, please get in contact with me. I'm going to give you some free stuff for us picking on you a little bit. This is with love, man. This is with love. We're here to help. I can smell the desperation in Cameron when he asks you the question. And when you've got a dynamic, even if he's feeling that underneath when he asks you the question, but he attempts to put on confidence when he's with the seller, they'll be able to smell that, oh, I think I'm going to lose the listing. And here's the real key. When Cameron has 40 listings that are well priced, when he's running 20 open homes on the weekend, when he is so busy that he has an absolute overflow of opportunities, vendors, and people who are lining up wanting him to sell homes, like our friend Josh Altman. You know, those buggers did $600 million in volume in the last 12 months. I mean, do the maths on their comm at 3 to 6%. Those guys are animals. Do you think those guys are going to put up with a vendor saying, oh, I think I'm going to take it from you and give it to some big... They're going to say, there's your walking papers, dude. It's either, hell yes, we want you, or get the hell out. So now I know that is bravado that is hard for Cameron to stomach if he's only got 3 or 4 listings. Because if he loses that one, that's a quarter of his business that goes. But that's the real answer, is that his dynamic, how can he go to that seller with any semblance of positioning, you know, and sort of say, well, you know, now you're not going to use this dialogue, Cameron, but this is the attitude that I'd love to see underneath, rather than an attitude of fear. Dude, I wrote the book on this shit. Right? I own this thing. What we need to do is I need to dictate terms like you would go to your doctor and get advice. Here's the thing. Okay, here's my diagnosis. Right, I see what's wrong. Great. Drop the price 20%. Give me an advertising budget so I can adequately expose this thing. Clean up the frickin' thing so when I bring a buyer, they don't have to put a peg on their nose. And do what you're told. Right? So now you're not going to say those things, but... imagine if a client comes to me, pays me $40,000 to install a marketing system into their business that does just that, gets them a plethora of listings. Then they start telling me, oh, Glenn, I don't think we should do that style of marketing. I think we should do 1 open house a day for 8 hours. That's what I think. Or whatever. They start telling me what to do. Believe me, I will have zero. They will not even feel the breeze as they are thrown out my front door, because clients a mile long waiting to give me the money that they think I care about. Go take it. Go, please, because your hour with me is an hour I can't give to the dude behind you that actually wants to do it. So I think there's a bit there about Cameron. And that's going to be deeper and more valuable for him to improve his business than any magic marketing thing we could do. And I hope me and Greg, we can go into maybe what we do from a marketing perspective, what constitutes overexposure and adequate exposure. But I think those nuances will be far trumped by that overarching not being needy.
100%.
Yeah, you know, I think you covered pretty much everything. There's a couple of things that I would touch on. Something that's incredibly effective and powerful for us is that Chris, my business partner, is a part of a marketing little group that gets together, and they have about 20, 25 agents that are in this from all different companies, and they all go see each person's new listing, and they write an evaluation on it, price, condition, the whole 9 yards. So I think sometimes it comes down to client control. It sounds like this agent might not have client control. They're not running the ship. The client's running the ship. They're dictating, you know, price and terms and a bunch of other stuff. So one, get an evaluation done, run something at an open house, get people, you know, win a prize for $50, $25, whatever it is, a free dinner, a couple of steaks, whatever, you know, to give me your thoughts on the couple of questions. You know, price, you know, cleanliness, competition, you know, and a couple of other things. But get those so you can then show to the seller, because the seller might have their head up their ass when it comes to pricing and how good they have. Because a lot of us, we're smell blind into our own properties. We walk in, we're like, smells great. And you're like, smells like a locker room in this place. So, you know, it could be being turned off because it could be also be the hot house or the cold house, or it could be the stinky house. If you walk into the hot house or the cold house or the stinky house, you're not going to come back to it, and people aren't going to want to buy it, even if you are a well-priced or good product, because people associate negativity with it. I would also consider getting on and either door knocking or doing calls heavily around the neighborhood to let them know, so you can potentially get an army to sell it. Obviously, in the marketplace that this person's using, doesn't seem like social media is really that effective, or this individual just isn't using social media effective. Again, we don't know. We're making speculations at this point.
Well, one of us does, because one of us is searching all the listings on his page, and I can't find one listing so far that I would consider adequately exposed. But I may be just looking in the wrong place. I may be looking pernerb in all the wrong pieces. I don't know.
What was that?
Wookin' Pernerb. Anyone who can tell me who's saying Wookin' Pernerb, not looking for love in all the wrong places, who's saying Wookin' Pernerb in all the wrong pieces? Someone will tell me below, you win a prize. You win
no idea.
hundreds of dollars if any of your guys in the comments know who sings Wookin' Pernerb.
Dude, I hear like keyboards clacking all over the world right now. I appreciate it. But I mean, so if you're not doing anything, I would have a heart-to-heart conversation with the seller, because if you can't get them on board with you, then you're gonna lose out anyways. I had a conversation with one of my sellers last night, a very heart-to-heart, and then another conversation this morning. And after having that deep conversation, I understand where they were coming from, and I'm okay. I know now what needs to happen. And it looks like we have a couple of guesses out there. Eddie Murphy,
Jesse Hall.
Does Jesse get it?
If anyone said Eddie Murphy wins, Jesse Hall.
What does he win, Glenn? What does he win?
I don't know. Well, he at least wins a copy of my new book, Punching Above Your Weight. That will be autographed to Jesse Hall. So, Jesse, PM me a mailing address. You will get that. But not just that. I'm going to give something good.
But wait, if you do something now, you get double. And there's free shipping involved.
No, I'm going to give him a copy of the event that we did with Arnold Schwarzenegger in its entirety. 3 days worth of good stuff. Out of the box content. It seems our every day is out of the box for some over there. I've insulted your country a couple of times.
Yes, you have massively, and I love it.
Well, actually, first time I was on, Greg insulted us, so it's all good.
How? I do a bad accent? Give me a break.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm going to send you a full copy of 3-day training, headlined by Arnold Schwarzenegger, just because you, sir, know Wookin' Pernerb by Eddie Murphy.
Oh, man, that's funny. Oh, my God. Okay, let's see.
Where were we, Matt?
Well, I 100% agree with the client control, because that, in the end, that is the issue. And in a situation like this where there's no, if they're in the location where I think if we found the right person and they're in Tennessee and there's no central AC, I don't care what kind of allowance you make, like that's a big knock. That's not like not having, air conditioning in San Diego. That's one thing. That's maybe a condition that you only get. It's only a condition if it's below, above a certain price point where there's an expectation. But there's a lot of homes in San Diego that don't have central air because you don't necessarily need it except for 5 to 10 days out of the year. I don't think Nashville is like that. So I'm guessing that's a big issue. And yeah, that does come down to client control, because if you can't get them, if they're going to make an allowance and the money is committed, why not put the money into the home in advance and make it turnkey for the buyer if you know you're going to have to spend it anyway? The idea that you can just say to a buyer, yeah, I know that, but just ignore that, we'll pay for that. Like, that doesn't register with people.
Well,
it just doesn't register.
They might have to do that if the sellers are cash strapped. We have a couple of clients that are kind of cash poor, house rich right now. So what they're going to do is when they're going to sell it, they're going to do a seller credit to buyer, in escrow. So that might be why they're doing that.
Yeah. Okay. And don't just sort of say it's okay. Have a quote, have a visual, have this here is included with the home, and so they can touch it, feel it, and say, what you're saying, no central air does not count. This is the best central air that is installed in the aftermarket service. This is included. And then once they go to contract at that, if it gets counter-offered or whatever, that just becomes another point of the negotiation, whether that's in. If their offer's too low, all right, we'll consider that, but the air's off the table at that price. You understand that. But now they've fallen in love, and that's the trick. Once they've envisaged and gone to paper, they've mentally said to themselves, I will raise my family in this home. So then the aircon becomes less of a, I'll just go because there's no aircon. Once it's on the table initially and they start getting into it, they may be able to justify no air if they buy this thing at a rock bottom price. But if they pay a better price, the air's in.
Interesting.
Oh, different packages. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of different packages, there was a question here that I spotted about how you present your commission at a listing presentation. And I'm curious, Glenn, if any of your guys, any of your students use different packages, either marketing packages for what you're agreeing to run for a seller, since you guys charge for that up front, or just different commission type packages that include different things.
Let me go one thing. Are we allowed to just mess with Cameron for a little bit more? Just
Cameron.
one more second.
Why not? Man, poor Cameron's taking a beating in this podcast. I'm not going to let him know that we're answering his question on this show.
Let me just real quick. Is this the one? Google Chrome. Just go to my full screen. Click here to start sharing your screen. Okay, I'm sharing my screen, right. So I didn't want to, what I wanted to ascertain is I do believe price, if the price is priced effectively, and if it's presented well, the only thing he's left with is exposure. And if this, because I'll have a look on this, now I don't even know if I've got the right agency, but if I do, there's 4,000 people who like this page, so it's an adequately exposed real estate agent page. Right, it's that you can't say, oh, no one likes our page. There's enough people who know that page exists that there are some good audiences that either are or could be created out of the people in that geographic area. So all of these listings that they've got on here, I looked at all of them, they've only got a couple of hundred views. And that is criminally underexposed. Right, now, what I don't see at the front end is whether or not these are being run back end with better exposure, right, behind the scenes at the thing.
As ads.
But what my recommendation is, if they are being run back end behind the scenes with different text or whatever, stop, run all of your promotion here, because you want your consumers to see 4,000 views. 10,000 views. You want your consumers to see shares, comments, and likes everywhere here. See, me as a consumer, you know, my offer on this bad boy with 2 shares, no comments, and 8 likes, I'm going to be putting in an offer half the listing price. I'm only exaggerating, but it's like when you go to the open house and you're the only one there. Oh, yeah. Your offer's going to be lower than if you see people everywhere and you see 4 other buyers all talking to each other about, oh, what do you think the owners will accept? Oh, and all of that. Your offer will be better. The negotiation has started when you see other people's action around that property. So now I could kind of show you. Let me just, the share tab. Now, this is Paul Tonich. He's one of, I've been working with Paul since like 2010, 11. He's one of our guns. Now, I could just go straight to my gun, right? 37,000 likes. He's a social media animal, right? So every time he puts up a listing, 52 comments, 5 shares, 52 likes, you know, so we could go to the legends, right? This is what I would consider adequately exposed on social. Attention-getting listings, lots of comments, lots of action going on Paul Tonich's page. So if you want to know how to adequately expose a property on social, go and have a look at the listings for Paul Tonich here, right? Lots of copy, lots of photos, and lots of budget to spend. Now, say that was a video, now this isn't a video, this is just visual, this is just photos, 79 comments on a listing, beautiful home, tagging friends, etc. Comments, shares, likes. That's adequately exposed. Those ones I saw before aren't. But I don't just want to go to Paul. What I want to do is I want to go to a company that did not exist a year ago. This is a startup. Someone who started working with me literally in the last year. So we've got it up to 1,000 likes. So it's not horrible, but it's less than our friend that we're talking about here. This is some of her listings. So now when we started this page, there was no organic traction. Zero. All this is paid. But it's paid reasonably. As you can see, Megan Reed doesn't even have a website that can accept individual listings to drive to. So even with these things against her, 12 comments, 20 likes, 3 shares, right? And if we just kept going down, you would see Megan, a stone cold rookie business. Now, she's not a rookie. She's a gun. She opened her own business less than a year ago. If I did scroll down, there was a period of time, there was a 6-month window where me and Naomi and my team did her social media for her while she launched. So, but now she still does her best to follow our formulas with her daughter, and she's still doing really, really good. 5,000 people seen, Okay, so that one didn't do so well. We missed the boat a little bit on that one. Don't know why. And that's the thing. This is uncensored, guys. I'm not just giving you the guns. I'm giving you it warts and all that reliably and predictably, more often than not, She's getting action, 27 comments, 3 shares, 33 likes. She's getting action on her listings, social proof because other people are engaging with those listings. People are turning up to the open homes en masse. And with Facebook's, if you don't know that Facebook methodology, so you can target geographically, age appropriately to the ideal buyers, and then spend, heaven forbid, $10 a day, $70 a week, $100 a week on that promotion, then we need to get the wake-up call that is going to happen to you anyway. It's just that why not lead the charge and figure some of these things out before you are forced to? Because this is the market right now. So is the property adequately exposed? Cameron may be sitting there fuming at me saying, yeah, but Glenn, you're not seeing whatever. Well, not that I'm looking hard, but I'm actually looking for your listings, sir, and I ain't finding them. How about the people who don't give a shit about your listings, which is, by the way, everyone except me?
That was awesome. Very cool, man.
Cameron hates me now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
Probably. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, man.
It's a good thing you're a long way away. It's very hard to hire hitmen in Australia.
Yeah.
I don't know
if you want to get me 14 hours later, I think your anger will have worn off on that flight.
Exactly.
14 hours.
5 Ambiens later.
Oh, God. That's what you and I get to do, or just like 10 cocktails, really, whatever your Ambien choice is, either alcohol or actual.
Well, speaking, I have a follow-up question. Yeah, I have a follow-up question for you, Glenn.
Sorry.
So this is a question from another agent in a Facebook group I spotted that's it might follow on nicely with this. So Wendy Gardner says, I'm having a creativity block. I've created custom audiences in Facebook with my sphere of influence and database, and I want to create an ad to them to stay at top of mind. What have you tried that worked well? And then she just gives some options and asks for feedback and stuff. Glenn, I mean, speaking of giving exposure, so it's one thing when you have a listing. Is that the best way to stay top of mind with your database, or should you be doing something else or something in addition to?
Should come with you guys. Can we get her to just jump in your guys' suitcase and come and hang out for 2 days? Because it's a bigger answer than the 5 minutes, than the 2 minutes. But let me give you the quick, the Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes. Yeah, let me give you the Cliff Notes. Quantity over quality. So get her to not go second guessing whatever her list is and do all of them. Your Facebook page with the paid feature attached to it is like a radio station. And if it isn't on the air all day, every day, then don't bother. What that means is your listings need to be going all day, every day. Your Facebook Lives, my recommendation is I say to my rookies, do 3 Facebook Lives a week, boost at least one of them that you think is the best out of those 3, but eventually once they're pretty comfortable with them, I want all of those Facebook Lives boosted $10 one day, so that you are literally consistently on the air. Now that company, Megan Reed, that I just showed you, she's mainly going down the listing front because we haven't bolted on just all the other systems of maybe what to do. But the answer is you need to just do everything to stay top of mind. It's because of this. Think about, Greg, let me ask you this. How often do you think about, now you've got an accountant, your accountant has a competitor, Bob Jones, down the road. How often are you thinking about what Bob Jones is doing, an accountant in your area who isn't your accountant? How often are you thinking about him on a day-to-day basis?
I don't really give a shit about Bob.
Exactly, never. That's how often your consumer, we wake up thinking our consumers are thinking about what we're doing as much as we are. Right? They don't give a flying rat's toss. Not your database, not anyone. Just they don't give a rat's ass. Does that? No, that probably doesn't translate either. Let's just say they don't care about you.
I was just confused as to why we were throwing rodents.
They don't care about you.
Yes. So you have so do everything. Boost as much as possible.
Be everywhere. Just be everywhere, omnipresent. The one other thing I would say to her is, before we throw to Mr. McD, who is, by the way, you are looking at 2 masters of this principle. Tell me that if you're not part of Greg McDaniel and Matt Johnson's tribe, herd, audience, so to speak, tell me that you don't see Greg McDaniel daily in your newsfeed. Of course you do. All around the world. I do here in Australia, because he accurately, and saturation marketing is in my world, right? Because I've identified myself as part of his tribe. So That's model what these guys do to their tribe. Of course, you've got to adjust the context that you're not going to be talking about improving real estate careers. You're going to be talking about selling homes, how to sell home for top dollar, how to serve your community that's got nothing to do with real estate, what events are coming to town, etc. So being omnipresent in their world. And the one thing I would suggest is she said she's got some custom audiences and some, her database and all of those sorts of things. Mm-hmm. I would maybe not be so clever. While Facebook is 1/100th, at worst 1/10th of the money that it should be, and I hope Mark Zuckerberg ain't looking at this and they just start jacking the price invariably is going to go up because us marketers are going to push the bidding up.
Right.
I am currently getting Facebook impressions, views, action, etc. at least 1/10 of what I would pay. So what I'm currently being asked to pay 3 cents for, I would at least pay 30 cents for, if not $1. And we need to take advantage of that opportunity in every way, shape or form possible. And what that means is maybe not narrowing your market geographically just to the people who are on your database, on your list or custom audiences. I believe everyone that is in a certain range of a certain income and lives in a certain area, if they fit those criteria at 1 cent per view or impression, take my money. I wouldn't be too clever with your audience selection. And that's another, that's an actual training on how to do that in itself, which we won't go there. But that's the principle that I would throw to you. But Greg, you guys are masters of this. What are your thoughts on that? Have I got it right for a U.S. real estate market?
Glenn is a master of flattery. Go ahead, Greg. Regale us.
I think so, too. I just let him talk. I'm like, yes. How good am I again? Just go for it. Just lay it on heavy, sir. I'll take it.
My friend. Well deserved.
So guys, okay, so Glenn is 100% right. You need to be out in front of your people on a consistent basis. The reason I'm out so much is because I asked my audience what they wanted to see. And so that's why I started the morning motivations with McDaniel at 8:30 a.m. to get people up and going. People have responded in droves going, hey, man, thanks so much. This is very inspirational. I really enjoy it. I share it out to my people because I asked people what they wanted to see. Obviously the podcast, this is more for agents, and then the door knocking, the calls are for agents as well. But I put 2 links in here for everyone's listening to this on iTunes and Stitcher and any other, portal. I want you to go to these 2 different sites and you'll be able to pull down content 100% free, and you can do live videos without having to know everything about real estate. You can be a buffoon. You can be a first day in the job, and you can be Glenn's like, oh, there I am. And I didn't make fun of him. He raised his own hand. But you can go to realtytimes.com, guys, and you can go in there and you can go to the consumer advice tab. And it's buyer, seller, homeowner, new home, mortgage, rental. I think there's 6 different portals in there that you can pull articles from. There are thousands of articles. You can do it one every day. Give them Sundays off from being browbeat by you. But read the article. You're going to get smarter about the real estate industry and the marketplace and the different tips and tricks for you to then talk to your clients about when you actually are meeting with them. You can also build up a library so that you can then, if I'm sitting with Glenn and Naomi and, he's like, well, Greg, is it a good time to sell in the spring? I'm going to say, Glenn's a great question. I have a video I recorded about that. Here, I'll send you your link. What's your best email? I've captured his information. I've dazzled him with my technology skills. And I'm also going to let him dive deep on the rest of my videos that I've done. So start building that up right now. If you guys get through that and you want more, go to neighborhoodscout.com, type in your zip code where you are. It's going to come up with your zip code outlined, and it's going to have micro markets within your master market, and it's going to give you really cool information about it. It's going to give you an real estate overview. Now, this is a sword, not a scalpel. This is a conversation starter, not a fact-finding hunt. Then it's going to give you notable, unique people, places, ethnicity, ancestry, mode of transportation to work, all kinds of little subsets of information. You can go into your marketplace that you're in, right? Go stand in that micro market, and you can make, 2 to 4 to 5 videos on every one of those little subsets. Put them in a little package on YouTube. Now you can send that YouTube link with those 4 videos into it right over to any buyers looking to buy at Bleecker in Maine. And that subset, here's all the information you need to know about it. Guys, if you do the back-end meta tagging correctly on this, it's going to blow up because you can shoot it on Facebook Live. You can download it. I have Viral Marketing who I use. They do the editing for me on the back end, but you can take it to a video editor. They can edit it up for YouTube. You can then take that video that you shot live. You can then promote it out as a Facebook Live on the why you need to live in this area and why it's so awesome. You can constantly run these videos on a loop, and it will never get old. If you do that for like 2 zip codes, you'll have more videos about more cool content, always hitting the airwaves, that you have to record once, but you can air for like years upon years about this area. I mean, it is, you have so much free stuff. I mean, you can also do marketplace videos. I mean, Matt and I have talked about this. We made this up a while ago. Here's your $140 marketing budget. This is what you do. These are your 4 videos. Every month you're going to do it and do it in these different marketplaces. You're going to interview a principal at a high school, junior high, or elementary. You're going to interview a business person like a chef or something kind of cool, like an ooh and ah over their food. You're going to interview somebody that is someone of power, so the chief of police, the mayor, the head of grounds, whatever you want to do in the area. And then you do the last one, a buyer, seller, wants, needs video. Now you take this video and you push it out for, what is it, $5 a day, Matt? Is that what we did? I think it's $5 a day for 7 days. It's $35. Is that right? My math totally screwed up?
Yes.
Times 7 is 35. 35 times, it ends up to be $140 for a month, and it's new content every single month on top of the other videos that you're already putting out. So if you guys aren't running your own TV station, talking about how awesome your neighborhood is, you're fucking up. And you know what? Someone else is going to take this idea, and they're going to run it, and you're going to be like, dang it, I had that idea one time, and I heard that Glenn Twiddle guy. I should have listened to him because, Bob at Remax is taking all my listings now. When you could take this right now, put it into action. Go back and watch this because I talked about a mile a minute, just like Glenn does. And go back and listen to what we're talking about. Put these action items into step. Put these.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Greg McDaniel.
I should have I had a great idea while Greg was in there. I was going to say, and that reason, because there was one of those points Greg made, so I'm going to go back and watch this because it was one of those points Greg made that I thought, wow, that is the reason that in that entire country, I know a bunch of real estate agents over there. I've invited 5 individuals to come from America down to this event, and that's Luis Ortiz from $1 Million Listing New York, the Altman brothers from $1 Million Listing LA, Greg McDaniel, Brian Casella, and Matt Johnson. And what Greg just said is the reason that literally genius, and now I can't even remember what it was. But remember you were saying how when I said guilty about being a douchebag, you don't even have to be an idiot? Look what I just grabbed off my bookshelf. This was one of my favorite required reading books. I love it.
I like that. You don't have to be born brilliant. Matt, is this your autobiography?
Yes, exactly.
So, man, golden. Become the celebrity of your area. Matt, what question was that even asking?
It was something about staying top of mind with your sphere of influence and database and building custom lists in Facebook. Yeah, good Lord, I wind up. You guys are like wind-up toys. I just wind you up, and I don't have to. It's great because I don't have to talk. I think I've talked for a grand total of 7 minutes in this entire show. It's awesome.
Wind-up toys. I just had an image in my mind of like Mattel wind-up toys. Like Glenn's bald and I got hair, and we're just.
Exactly.
When we get done, I do get off these when we hang out, and I think, did we drop any value, or did we just fucking talk and hang out and shit?
Well, the first 5 minutes notwithstanding, I would say yes, we delivered a lot of value.
Did we do anything positive?
The first 5 minutes were me and Glenn just ganging up and making fun of Greg, which is always fun. And I think there needs to be a balance.
Equally valid.
Yeah, equally valid. Exactly.
Oh my God.
All right, Glenn, how do people connect with you?
Oh my God.
Glenn Twiddle. Actually, you know what? You guys find me. Every time I do one of these, my inbox melts. So if you can't find me, then you don't deserve to find me.
That's a challenge and a taunt.
There you go. Awesome. So Jesse Hall, I need you to send me a mailing address, physical mail. Remember that? I said to someone from America the other day who got something right, I was going to send him a copy of my book. And I said, send me your address. And he sends me his email. And I said, sir, he must be a millennial. Sir, there's this thing that we used to have back when I was a young whippersnapper. And it's called The Post. It's called a mailing address. There's a funny little box out in your front yard with cobwebs on it. And there'll be a thing that I'm going to send you, sir. I need a mailing address. I'm going to send you something physically. So Jesse Hall, who got the Eddie Murphy thing, and I think there was one other dude. If you got the Eddie Murphy thing right, send me your mailing address. I'm going to send you some goodies because I think that's cool as shit. So
good. Jesse,
Glenn Twiddle. You'll find me.
Glenn Twiddle. If you can't find me, you don't deserve me. You're not going to be trademarked. So, dude, Glenn, have you ever heard the book Blue Fishing? Have you read that yet?
Oh.
Dude, what you just talked about with everything that Steve Sims, the author, talks about in that. It's how to be ugly, how to be, how to stand out. And I just read it, listened to it, but I just bought the hard copy of it because it impressed me so much. Because I think like you and I, we'll do another masterclass, but we're gonna blend the blue fishing theory with high tech, and how we can be pretty but yet ugly at the exact same time, and double dip into our marketplaces, and how people can be incredible, how he can create a lot of fun and excitement around with your marketing and be brutally awesome at the same time. I mean, this book is insane.
How does it relate? How does blue fishing relate with, say, a Purple Cow by Seth Godin? Is it kind of a similar religion?
I haven't read Purple Cow yet, but I'll put it on my.
So let's swap. I'll read Blue Fishing. You read Purple Cow, and then we'll do our thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Very different. Yeah. 100%.
Oh, different.
Very, very different. Cool. Both great books. Okay. So if you can't find Glenn Twiddle, you don't deserve to. That's the motto of this show.
Hashtag.
Greg, how do people connect with you?
I sound like an arrogant douche.
What is 5 a.m. for you? So you're hopped up on caffeine like nobody's business.
That's right.
But so guys, if you want to hook up and hang out with me, please go to bookmcdaniel.com. Bookmcdaniel.com. It's where you guys will book 30 minutes with me, and we will talk about if moving over to EXP with Matt and with what we're offering. Glenn, we're going to be putting some stuff together with Glenn on the back end that you'll get for free. We haven't decided yet, but whatever it is, you're going to love it. I guarantee you. And we're going to have all these programs and products that are back there, all this extra training. Guys, I'm going to show you how to take one deal and get 3 revenue sources from the deal, so you can build now business, passive business, and future 401k financial security. So go to bookmcdaniel.com. Come hang out with me, man. I'm telling you, I'll if you don't like what I have to say, hang up the phone on me. But I'm pretty sure you're going to like what I have to say, and I'm pretty sure that it can be of massive value-add benefit for your family in the future. So bookmcdaniel.com. That's how you find me. And if you don't find me, hunt harder. I'll hug you.
Well, I tell you, Greg, I looked at your schedule, dude, and you're booked all day today, all day tomorrow. So, that whole, hey, please come hang out with me demeanor you just exuded, if you can get your frickin' foot in the door, because Mr. McDaniel, but that goes back to what we were sort of saying before, man. You should be honored if you get frickin' half an hour with that man. Can I bring your checkbook just in case you need to give him a tip?
I've already plugged my ears, Greg. It's too bad. No, you cannot.
Damn it.
No, you cannot have that embroidered on a pillow and mailed to my physical address. All right. So for those of you who are watching, listening, so one of the benefits, Greg, that he didn't necessarily mention, we're talking about like giving away free training and free content. One of the benefits of joining the team is that you get my buddy Jeff Cohn's ERS live stream training, which is super high def, twice a week agent training. Now, if you don't join our team, that's still available. So we do want to mention that you can go directly to erslivestream.com. ERS stands for Elite Real Estate Systems, which is his coaching consulting arm of their number one team in their state. And so, guys, if you are a team leader or a small broker that does not have you're not at the stage where you want to or could hire like a full-time or part-time trainer, this is a great solution for that. Or if you're an agent yourself that wants to plug into super high def video and audio training twice a week and feel like you're part of a team environment, that is a great way to plug into that too. So erslivestream.com. It's like $17 a month. It's ridiculously cheap. If you join up with our EXP team, McDaniel Real Estate Systems, you get that for free, along with all of our products and any future products that we develop, including the super secret Facebook live video to podcasting program that I'm putting together. So if you are looking to build your brand, you want to be an influencer, you want to start your own podcast, I'm putting together the program that will help you execute that and turn Facebook live videos, like Glenn was talking about, into a podcast for very, very low money. You can actually just hire a simple marketing assistant. You can equip them with this program, and they can run with it without you having to manage them. So that's just a sample of all the stuff that's coming down the pipeline for those of us who partner with us. So With all of that being said, good Lord, that was a lot. Book McDaniel for Greg, Glenn Twiddle for Glenn. Go look him up, follow him, friend him, whatever the case is. Friend me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook, follow Greg on Facebook. Make sure to connect us.
Whoa. What? You just said friend Matt Johnson?
Sure.
Did I hear that? The ice caps are definitely melting because there's global warming because shit's affecting your brain.
Sorry, I'm missing. Follow me on
Hell's
Facebook.
Frozen over again.
Holy shit, friends. He said the F word, people. He wants friends.
I know
Brenda.
That is taboo, Matthew. Taboo.
Sorry, follow me on Facebook. Do not friend me. Follow me.
Oh, God, we have way too much fun making fun of ourselves.
Yes, we do. Okay, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the show. YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. Go to... Oh, by the way, our farming product is now available for sale on the new training portal that we are putting together. So you can go to reuncensored.com/farming, and you can learn all about that. So that is there, and we've got more products coming there too. So if you don't end up joining our team, but you still want to plug into all of our content and systems, you can get it. All of that stuff is coming down the pipeline. But yeah, guys, we just want to thank you. We love you guys that you share the show, you talk about it, you share it with other agents, you share it with your brokers. We've had people bring us up to their brokers to have us book for speaking engagements, all kinds of fun stuff. We just really appreciate it.
And let me throw
That's all I got to say about that.
See, now that everyone's gone, because as we start winding down, we know audience. We're smart. We know that audience viewership goes down.
Yeah, this is where we talk shit about the audience, isn't it?
So for you stayers, Now look, I know the real cost isn't the event. The real cost is the frickin' flight in hours and time. But if any of your RE Uncensored crew want to come down with Greg, with Matt, with Brian Casella, and the Stars $1 Million listing, and every one of the performers at that $1 Million Agent Summit is at the $1 million and up mark. All of them. I've never heard of a conference before that had $1 million performers and up every single speaker. It's our shout, right? If you get there with these guys, no cost, right? It's on us. Now, I know the cost is really the flight and shit, right? If you want to come, it's free, right? If you make that commitment to get your ass there, believe me, the last thing I'm going to do is say, where's your ticket money, right? So you're in for free.
Matt, we're in for free, buddy. All right.
Sweet. All right.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Matt, what do you want to do to this show?
I would like to put a bow on it, Greg, because I'm very tired and I want to get some food in me.
Dude, just drag this out to piss you off now. All right.
Finish it off. Right. There's your theme for your bow.
You don't have to be born brilliant. Hashtag Glenn Twiddle. Guys, I love you to pieces. Go find me, bookmcdaniel.com. And as always, peace out, ninjas. We gone.